Welcome to The Explainer, where we deconstruct big ideas to see what really makes them tick.
So, have you ever wondered why some stories stick around for, well, thousands of years? It's not just because they're entertaining. It's because they are, believe it or not, a kind of ancient, super powerful technology.
That's right. They're basically perfectly designed to pack in and pass on really important information. You could say stories are one of humanity's oldest and honestly most effective tools for learning.
To really get a handle on this, we're going to decode a super famous one, the myth of Prometheus. Think of it like we're cracking open an ancient story to find the hidden instruction manual inside.
Okay, so every great story starts by setting the stakes, right? And the myth of Prometheus, it kicks off in a world of just immense suffering.
I mean, the story paints this really bleak picture. It says mortals lived in misery. Their plight was tough and dangerous, just freezing in the darkness. See how it immediately grabs you? It anchors us right in that feeling of desperation with these really specific, powerful words.
And what's really cool here is how the story does this. It doesn't just give you abstract ideas. It attaches them to a scene you can't forget. So you have misery, which establishes the core problem, and then plight, which defines the really dangerous situation they're in. The story makes you feel the problem before it even hints at a solution.
And just when we're feeling that desperation, bam, in comes our hero, a clever titan, Prometheus, who feels deep compassion for humanity and decides he has to do something. This right here, this is the engine that's going to drive the whole plot. So with that one single word, compassion, the whole narrative foundation is built. We've got a problem to solve, that terrible misery. And we have a really powerful reason to act. It's the perfect setup for everything that happens next.
All right, now let's get to the action. This is where the story really starts encoding some big ideas about courage, risk, and what it all means. So in this incredibly tense moment, Prometheus makes his move. With great stealth, he steals a spark from the god's own forge. His heart is just pounding with audacity. The myth is giving us two huge ideas here about how you actually go about challenging the status quo. And the story is so clever here. It pairs the method, stealth, with the attitude, audacity. So stealth is the how, the sneaky, careful action. But audacity, that's the bold, shocking courage behind it. The lesson is crystal clear. If you're going to take on a dangerous mission, you can't just be brave. You got to be smart, too. And this wasn't just some random act of theft. The story gives it a really clear, powerful purpose, one that's way bigger than just the act itself. The spark, he whispers, will illuminate the world.
And this is brilliant. Check out the double meaning packed into that one word. To illuminate isn't just about literally lighting up the dark. No, it's also about making the path forward, the path to knowledge and progress, clear for everyone.
But of course, you can't have a great story without some major conflict. And this is where the myth really embeds its most dramatic lessons, teaching us all about consequences.
And you know it's coming, right? The big boss god, Zeus, is absolutely enraged. He confronts Prometheus, not for his compassion, but for his defiance. And he booms, "Your hubris has doomed you." Whoa. So now we've got two huge concepts crashing into each other.
And right here, the story teaches us a massive lesson in perspective. See, from Prometheus's point of view, this was an act of defiance that came from compassion. But to Zeus, it was an act of unforgivable hubris, like extreme arrogance. The myth is showing us that the very same action can look heroic or just plain arrogant, all depending on where you're standing.
And to make sure we never, ever forget the consequences, the punishment is described as grievous, meaning incredibly severe. The story intentionally ramps up the language, right? It goes from defiance to hubris, all the way to a grievous punishment. It's a powerful way to teach us about the incredibly high price of taking big risks. But even in that awful punishment, the story slips in one final crucial lesson: resilience. By showing Prometheus just enduring it all, The myth encodes the value of being able to adapt and recover from hardship, which, let's be honest, is a critical part of any struggle about struggle. Okay, so after all that conflict, we finally get to the resolution, the fire of knowledge. This is where we see the results of our hero's sacrifice and just how much it changed the world. The language here really elevates the whole thing. His sacrifice, it says, was not in vain. His legacy endured, filling the whole world with the fire's brilliant radiance. It frames the outcome not just as a win, but as something truly glorious for all of us. And here it is. This is the story's ultimate payoff. It shows how one single spark of knowledge can set off this incredible chain reaction. It all starts so simply, with just warmth and light, but that allows for community and safety. And that leads to crafting and technology, and from there, boom, civilization itself. It's a perfect domino effect, all from one single, powerful idea. So, let's pull all these threads together now. Why does this myth stick around? It brings us right back to our original question about what makes a story so powerful. So, what's the secret code? Well, the myth works because it's an incredible blueprint. It takes these big abstract ideas and anchors them to real feelings, using that clear problem-action resolution structure. And by making fire a metaphor for knowledge, it connects one person's brave choice to the progress of an entire society. So yeah, this isn't just some story about a titan. It's basically a masterclass in how we teach, learn, and share the stuff that really matters. So the myth of Prometheus, it turns out, isn't just a tale about the past. It's really a question for our future. He stole fire from the gods. So what spark of knowledge will you share? Because this story has lasted for thousands of years to remind us that passing on what we know, that is one of the most powerful, courageous, and deeply human things we can do. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.